As I have a quadratic inequality, my first step is to determine its roots. As I have 3 terms, I'm going to try factorising my quadratic into double brackets. As my quadratic starts to form x squared, therefore I know each bracket will start with a single x. My rule is I need to find 2 numbers that multiply to give us the number term, in this case negative 10, and the same 2 numbers must still add together to give us a number in front of the single letter, which in this case is negative 3. The only way to get a negative when multiplying is to have 1 positive and 1 negative. The factors of 10 are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. The only pair that's going to add together to give us negative 3, therefore it's going to be 2 and 5. As I want negative 3, therefore it has to be plus 2 and negative 5. As I want my quadratic to be less than 0, where a quadratic is less than 0 is where the graph is below the x-axis. Therefore my first step is I want to draw a quick sketch of my quadratic. So drawing my 2 axes, I know x goes across and y rhymes with sky. I determine my 2 roots. I place each single bracket equal to 0. Taking my first single bracket, they're going to have x plus 2 equal to 0. Taking my second single bracket, here I'm going to have x minus 5 equal to 0. As I'm solving for x, I want to get x by itself. The opposite of plus 2, therefore, is to subtract 2 from both sides. On the left-hand side, I know 2 take away 2 will cancel to leave us with x. On the right-hand side, 0 take away 2 gives us negative 2. That's one root. Taking my second single bracket, placing equal to 0. In this case, the opposite of negative 5 is to move it to the right, and that is to add 5 to both sides. We know negative 5 add 5 will cancel on the left, leave us just x. And the right-hand side, 0 add 5 gives us 5. Labelling my 2 roots, I've got negative 2 and positive 5. Going back to my quadratic, as it's positive x squared, therefore I'm going to have a parabola, i.e. a U shape, that's going to pass through negative 2 and positive 5. As I know my quadratic to be less than 0, I know that's where my graph, i.e. my quadratic graph, is below the x-axis. Therefore, to satisfy my quadratic inequality, it's below the x-axis for all this region underneath here, which corresponds to my values of x between negative 2 and positive 5. Therefore, so far, my solution is between x is greater than negative 2 and less than positive 5. Now, solving my linear inequality, as I want to get x by itself, therefore I know my first step is to eliminate the negative 1 by doing the opposite. The opposite of minus 1, therefore, is to add 1 to both sides. On the left-hand side, I know negative 1 add 1 will cancel to leave us with 2x. And on the right-hand side, I know that 6 add 1 gives us 7. 2x in algebra means 2 multiplied by x. And as I want to get x by itself, the opposite of times by 2 is to divide both sides of our inequality by 2. On the left-hand side, I know 2 over 2 will cancel to leave us just x. And on the right-hand side, 7 divided by 2 will give us 3.5. As I want to find the region that satisfies both inequalities, therefore I know that x must be greater than negative 2, but x must be less than or equal to 3.5.